Welcome back to the KDPG Sunday Edition. Our guest this morning on the KDPG Sunday Edition is Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald. We've talked a lot about Amazon, and John, there are other topics to talk about as well.
Well, the airport. Time to time I go to bars and I have barroom conversations and people will say, why are we spending another $1 billion on our airport? Our airport's perfect. But I want to give you the opportunity to explain why the landside part of the airport is inadequate and really what you're fixing, because I think that kind of got lost in the initial news.
We think about, we still call it the new airport, a lot of Pittsburghers.
Unfortunately, we still do.
But it was built over 25 years ago, and it was built for a system that's no longer in place there. It was built for an airline that's no longer doing business. And there are basically two airports that we need to understand. One is the air side, which was built for about 35 million passengers a year, and one is the land side, which was built for about 5 million passengers a year. We used to get 20 million passengers. 16 would connect through when U.S. Airways was a hub, and maybe 4 or 5 million would come driving out to the airport and flying to points wherever they're going. Well, now we're not a hub anymore, and that hasn't happened for over almost 15 years. So the air side is way oversized at 35 million because we're flying about 9 million passengers a year, but they're all O&D, meaning origination out of Pittsburgh and destination. When you go out in the morning for a 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock flight, you see this long line through TSA. And some of that changed too because of 9/11 and the new way that we have to do security. So we were undersized on the land side part of thing and oversized on the air side. So what Christina and her team have done is they're right sizing it. So the train will go away, you know, going from one to the other. That costs about $3 to $4 million a year. So we're going to invest is the way I want to say, $1 billion. But our cost is going to come down. So from $1,273 per in-plane passengers down to $973, a 25% reduction in cost because we're making the system more efficient.
But thinking about it another way is that you're going to take that, get rid of the landslide terminal, you're going to just drive up to the air side.
Correct.
And there's going to be more, the baggage will be shorter, the security will be shorter.
Yes.
You'll be there and then you'll use up some of the extra gates. It's And this $1 billion we're talking about is money within the airport authority itself. It's not.
Yes, no local taxpayer dollars.
Right.
And it's in essence paid for by the airlines.
Yeah.
The way the airports are operated, the airline fees, operate the system. They all signed off on it because they're going to see lower costs. It's going to make the airport more competitive. It's going to make it more user-friendly and enhance customer experience. And you're right, take away a lot of that maintenance that's done on the conveyances like baggage, like moving people, and energy costs and everything else.
And again, I think just the other element was that the airport needed to be renovated and money had to be spent anyway.
Yes. And it's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I think they looked at about 4 or 5 different options. There were some more expensive options of totally redoing it. But what experts will tell you that X design that we're all become familiar with, if you look at the aerial site, it's brilliant the way they did it. We just don't need the X going all the way to the end because we don't have the amount of flights that we had when we were a hub.
What will you do with the landside terminal?
That's a great question because that's open for discussion because we can put that out, and we're going to put that out for an RFP. So for some developer that might want to come in and utilize that for economic development opportunities, we may just keep that building. They could repurpose it a little bit, and we could make money off of that. Or maybe it's obsolete and can't be used, and will be torn down, and they'll build something else that will be closer to the land side, or to the air side, as you mentioned, John.
Perhaps an Amazon headquarters could fit there.
The Amazon airport, you mean? That we're going to
Amazon airport. Well, let's stay on transportation for a second. The Port Authority. When you took office, I remember we had a lot of discussions about what you felt inefficient the Port Authority was at the time. A change in an executive director. You've made another change in the executive director of the Port Authority with a new person coming in. I think this is the 3rd or 4th person who's taken over since you became county executive. Financially, it's on sounder footing than it has been before.
Yes.
Where do you see it? Where do you want to see it go next?
Well, I think, we did a national search and followed the model that we did at the airport. The airport bringing in Christina Casotis 3 years ago changed that whole dynamic, working with the entire community. And I think the Port Authority, we did the same thing. We did a national search. Catherine Kellerman starts next week. She's a dynamic leader who has led other agencies, led the most recently Hillsborough County, Tampa, Florida agency. It's going to be not just about delivering the bus from point A to point B. It's about a total economic development strategy and a community development strategy, connecting people to the jobs, connecting people to the opportunities of quality of life and all the things that we have. And I think the Port Authority's got some really great potential and great bones. I don't know that it's ever reached that potential with new technology around rideshare, with a growing bike commuting population in Western Pennsylvania. With all the things that are changing, we've got to continue to adapt. We've got to continue to be next gen, if you will. And Pittsburgh's been very good at that, and I think Port Authority is going to be the next generation to do that.
You're still going to have the buses going through downtown. Have you?
Oh, you're always going to have, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So have you talked to any at all about trying to figure out a signal situation where the lights are, so you don't have a bus sitting there for as long as it does and moving on?
I think that's one of the things that Catherine's going to be working on, working with the city, working with Karina Ricks, the head of mobility and infrastructure for Mayor Peduto, working with Ray Gastile, the planning director for the city. I think you're going to see, because we've got the two biggest population job centers are still downtown Pittsburgh and Oakland, how to make those work better. The third one now that's kind of coming on board is the airport corridor as that continues to grow. So how do we connect all those folks, and how do we get people from where they live to work in an efficient, reliable, cost-effective way? And I think that's where someone like Catherine, who's got some really dynamic ideas and is willing to partner, will do that. So we're really excited about her coming on board. And I think 2018 is going to, in many ways, be a great change and a positive movement for transit in Western Pennsylvania.
This is not something that you have any control over, but there are municipalities within the county besides the city of Pittsburgh who use the Pittsburgh Water and Sewerage Authority. It's been a mess. I mean, I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that at all. How do you want to see that resolved, that issue?
Well, I think...
Should it be a public, private, or just private?
No, I think the public obviously has to have, whether it's oversight or whether control, or maybe control is not the right word, but there's got to be a public-private type of partnership. I think PWSA obviously being the hub of the region, but in Allegheny County there's about 35 different water authorities. We've got an aging infrastructure in this region, not just around water, around sewer, around roads, bridges, transportation. We've started to address some of those issues. Our gas lines, you see Peoples in Columbia that are making major investments in redoing the utility lines, Duquesne Light as well. So I think this is a comprehensive strategy. We need to work together. PWSA has been let go for many, many years. There's been a lot of deferred maintenance. And I think, again, that's something we have done as a region. When things went bad in the late 70s, early 80s, for 30 years, we didn't have the money to invest in a lot of the things that we're now starting to catch up. But that deferred maintenance means it probably costs a lot more than it would have had we kept up over those years.
For the sewer problem and the EPA and the consent decree and all of that, roughly speaking, how much of the solution is green and how much of it is gray, building pipes, separate sewer and sanitary pipes?
Well, I think it's both. I couldn't put a number on the percentage, but what I think we want to do is first look at the green and see how much of that we can absorb in a sustainable way. At some point, it's going to have to be gray, meaning you go underground and you make sure that the tunnels, the pipes underneath that convey the water to the treatment plant are there. But the more we can keep out of the system, the better off we will be in the long run, from a cost standpoint and quite frankly, from an environmental standpoint.
How about the longer we wait to fix it? Does it become more expensive? Do interest rates rise? It just gets worse and worse? And if you want to attract companies here, they want to know the rivers are clean. A lot of these tech people like to go rowing and triathlons and so forth. It always just feels like, oh, one more extension.
Well, we are fixing it. There are a lot of products, not products, but proposals out there and fixes that are happening in many of the municipalities. A lot of it around green, a lot of it around gray. So the work is getting done. The plan expansion, which is one of the first phases of the EPA consent decree, is moving forward. So these things are occurring. You just don't turn around. You don't turn it around on a dime. That's for sure.
One of the issues that your predecessor had to deal with, and his predecessor, the first Allegheny County executive, and that was taxes. You proposed another budget, proved that you did not raise the millage rate again, something you should be very proud of. How are you being able to continue to grow the county without raising taxes somewhere along the line?
Well, we're very proud of the fact that for 16 of the last 17 years we have not raised the millage. And that is something that's provided a lot of stability and a lot of confidence that when people buy a house or build a house or invest in a commercial property, that their taxes are not going to get raised. That's not going to go on forever. We know, because you're flatline. You're not going even with inflation and cost of living. But efficiencies that folks like County Manager McCain has been able to institute around technology. The fact that we're growing again, meaning the tax base is growing, we're bringing more onto the tax rolls, has been helpful. We've seen over $3 billion in new construction. So it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, looking for savings and efficiencies.
All right, very, very quickly, Steelers win today?
We think it's going to be a big Steeler day. We're excited about where we are with sports, and let's go get them.
All right. County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, thanks so much for being with us this morning on the KDPG Sunday edition. We'll be back in just a moment.